Okay, so what we're doing here, this is a dimmer switch, and right over here we're going to put in a set of outlets. What we decided was this area here where our counter is a good spot to keep our electronics charged, because we really don't use it for anything else besides we got a weather radio and an FM intercom that we use. So we're going to put some outlets in. What I wanted to go with was an outlet like this that had the USB chargers, but they don't stock that. That's an order item because of the color. So for now, I'm just going to put in just two sets of outlets that are in brown, and then if I can later on always order in a USB one to use. Luckily enough, we have this dimmer switch here has the white wire brought right down to the switch. Normally they'll use the white and the black as kind of travelers, but in this case they didn't. So we have our neutral wire here, we got our black hot, so we can just pull it right across over here like that. So we're gonna cut this hole open. What we're using is just the razor blade and this very thin paneling, this 1/8 inch paneling here. We're just scoring it. We did check the wall and there shouldn't be anything behind here, so if there is, we're gonna find it here in a second. You probably could use like a keyhole saw. We bought one of those, but I don't know if we're going to use it or not, because I've cut paneling like this before with a razor blade. Okay, so we got our hole here for our box that we're going to put in. This is just a previous work box, so it's got these tabs that holds it into place. I think we got it cut pretty close here. Oh, look at that. It's awesome. We didn't run into any structure behind, but there is a 2x4 that's laying in here horizontally, and then there's a 2x2 that's attached to the 2x4 in here. Started off with the razor blade, brand new sharp blade, and I started scoring this in the bottom here. It was taking forever, so we ended up going with opening up the package. I bought a key saw today and used this. Addie, which one do you think we should use?
The key saw.
Yeah, the key saw was a little bit quicker, and it's got two different blades on it. One is like a fine hacksaw, and this other one is more of like a wood cutting blade. So it was much quicker. Once we used this point to poke it through, it kind of squeaked a little bit, and we got our hole made here. And this is a pretty square hole. And I was surprised we didn't have to take any more off. We got it in there that's going to sit just right. I don't want these tabs to fall down. I mean, this epoxy gets stuck in there, but that's how it looks. So our next thing is we're going to poke a hole in this metal box. There's a little round circle we can pound out, and then we can run we're just running 14 wire. Looks like this because it's 15 amps. So and that'll just come over here, and then that'll be the next thing that you see.
Whoops. Okay, go.
Alright, so we got our outlets in here. Again, what we did was we just pulled a hot wire neutral ground from our switch here, which had all that in it, thankfully. And we pulled this outlet, and then we just tied on another outlet here to get this nice set of 4. What we just did, we did a test here. I should back up. Addie actually tightened the 2 screws here for the wall plate. She did that part. What we did was we just did a test with it, and we plugged in an electrical appliance in here, and we had the switch off for the dimmer, and we had no power here, which meant that we grabbed the wrong black wire, because it's kind of hard to tell which one is hot here. So now we just switched the black wire. I'm going to go turn the breaker back on in the basement, and we should have functionality with the dimmer switch to our light, which is right here, and these outlets should be constant hot. Alright, so you can see the light is on. These outlets here now are live, and we rewired our switch. We just switched it over, so when we turn this on, our dimmer switch, light lights up, it dims. So the way we had it set up before we switched to blacks, we actually would be dimming the power on whatever is plugged in here, which I would think is probably not the right way of doing it at all, unless you have like a light of some sort that's dimmable. So it'd be nice to get a nice brown dimmer switch here. And then even like our heights across here, we kept that pretty square. This outlet here though is, I don't know, I gotta figure out how we can get this sit a little flatter, but that's that project. Now we got our outlets here for our charging station. Now we just gotta clean up the mess and we'll be ready. Alright, so here we go, we got it back set up again. These two items here, the weather station and the wireless intercom, I actually have plugged in a different circuit down on the floor in a power strip. And then we have iPod plugged in right here, cell phone charger. This is a battery charger. We also have larger battery charger like this, which actually charges 4, and I like it because it sits flat against the wall. The problem is, if you plug it in, it actually takes up both spots. It'll cover this other outlet. So what we might have to do is see if they make some sort of offset outlet, or I'll have to get a little bit more creative or find a different charger, I guess. It'd just be nice to have this like hanging on the wall here. It'd be really convenient, and I guess we could maybe do that too if we unplug this smaller charger and move the iPod charger up on top like that, and we can plug this one in the bottom and leave it all set up like that. So the problem is here, there isn't enough room to get in there because this thing sticks out too far. So we'll have to see. We'll play around with it, but this is the finished project here for our wireless station.